Hey, you got to know Charlie Fox is looking for you. You say the same thing?
All right, we'll get started here, so have your attention. Thanks for being here, and as we take some time to celebrate a great winter full of a lot of individual and team accomplishments. Probably one of the more successful winters we've had. First though, before we get started, I just want to thank a couple people. As always, our administration, Mr. Darren, Mr. Bruton, Mr. Daniels, Dr. Miller, for all the support of the athletic programs, making this all possible. Probably one of the hardest workers in the athletic department by far, Ricky Morris, who does things from getting uniforms washed and ready, handing them out, making sure equipment's fields are ready, just everything that you can think of. Ricky does that and probably so much more. My assistant, Coach Kerwin, our athletic trainer, Coach Farah. Also, all the students and adults that help cover our athletic programs and bring our athletic programs and shine a good light on them in the community. Mr. Dudley, Mr. Burse, Mr. Peterson, Ms. Benshoff, all the students and the broadcasting class, BSN, for a great job they did. Any other students that helped run cameras or take pictures or help get our word out on social media. It's huge thanks to you guys. Also the maintenance, the business office, the dining hall staff that do so many things by that help with the logistics, getting money ready for meals, changing meal times, letting guys having meals ready early for lunch, just all kinds of things. It's an enormous help to us. The coaches that put in countless hours during practice, before practice, after practice, on the road. Coaches are very much overworked, underappreciated, but I appreciate them for all they do to make our programs what they are. And then of course the student athletes who obviously the seasons that we have, the accomplishments we have on the field or on the courts or anywhere else we participate, wouldn't be possible. So for all those people, I just want to thank you and know that I appreciate everything you do and all the hard work and dedication you put in throughout the year to make our athletic programs great. So thank you. So without further ado, we're going to do community service with Miss West.
Yeah!
So gentlemen, community service is not a sport, but it is an afternoon option all seasons. And just as I would encourage every one of you to try a new athletic sport that you have not tried before during your time here at Blue Ridge, I would also encourage you to do a season of community service. I'm going to call up the boys that served in the winter with me. I was the single leader of the winter group. I have a fabulous partner this spring in Mr. Mel. But the winter group, please, when I call your name, gentlemen, come up and just line up here behind the table, if you will. Philip Chen, Devin Carini, Jack Dickey, Ji Hao Jin, Howard Jang, Jimmy Lee, Eric Lee, Jasper Murphy, Caleb Schick, Ruben Walbrook, and Pierce Waller. So just in case you're wondering what community service does, we have a regular Tuesday, Thursday tutoring, one at Nathaniel Green in Standardsville, and one at Chestnut Grove Baptist Church. I think that's probably always the highlight. The boys find amazing opportunity for leadership during tutoring sessions. But we've added a few new things, and the hurrah for this group is that we finally got those, and I'm going to cuss, those damn post holes for our community garden in the ground. Yay! That's only taken 3 seasons to do. We also have started working with Building Goodness, which is a fabulous nonprofit organization in Charlottesville that builds for nonprofits amazing things, and we're working with them for a future build in Haiti for a school. Those are all good things. I want to tell a quick story. We have started, because we no longer run a Saturday food bank here on our campus, we engaged with Greene County's food bank. It's called Feeding Greene, and we go there on Wednesdays and help stock shelves and help deliver food to people around the county. And one day with this group, we were in there, and there were some volunteers around, and there were people, and we were introducing ourselves to Ms. Oliver, who is the director. And one of the other women in the shop said, "So boys, why are you here? Did you do something bad that you had to pay a penalty for?" Miss Oliver turned so quickly and looked at the woman and said, "These boys come from Blue Ridge because they love to serve others." And I was proud of that. And out of that, we decided to have a t-shirt competition to see who would come up with a great community service t-shirt. Reuben Walbrook was the winner. This is a certificate of thanksgiving for your participation in our Winter Community Service Group. Your service exemplifies the ideals of the Blue Ridge School mission that says a commitment to service, the pursuit of goodness as well as knowledge, and the honoring of each person as a child of God in a caring community. Thank you guys. It was a wonderful, fun winter. Oh, you want us up front here? Okay. Bring them on up here. Nice one. Squeeze it in. Everybody in? Thank you.
Next we got robotics with Mr. Peterson.
Well, I was going to bring the trophy up, but it's too large. I just didn't have the space. In all reality, we had a challenging robotics year. It was robotics. We took things apart, put them back together. We do that a lot. But it was a good time by all. Mother Nature didn't cooperate with us very well, so we had some scheduling. It was a rebuilding year, so we're looking forward to next year. Nevertheless, everybody showed up. They worked hard. Their hearts were into it. I think we did a really good job. Yes, David, even you. The members, please don't come up. I'll call them off, and then I have something for you. Be patient. I'll contact you, and it is forthcoming. The members of the robotics team this year were Bryce Dillard, Luis Jimenez, twice, David Heifetz, Justin Hu, Andrew Jorgensen, John Lee, and Mike Hahn. Mike was mentored by Aaron Darren from last year, so he was our unofficial / official team captain. Looking forward to him coming back next year. And like to say, rebuilding this year, look for great things next year. Go Robotics.
Next we have Squire Basketball with Coach Douglas and Coach Dunsmore.
Sorry, I have to make a quick update. Just despite that. Gentlemen, I'm the head Squires coach, and this here is Dan Dunsmore, assistant head coach and resident Squires historian. A lot of this info is. I'd like to start just by saying this was a really fun group of guys to work with. I have coached for several years, several different teams, several different sports, and this was hands down the most cooperative, respectful group that I've ever worked with. I think Coach would agree, they were a pleasure to work with each and every day, never a dull moment, and that I'd like to just thank the Squires team. Thank you, fellas. For our first award, our Coach's Award, this player stands 5 foot 10 inches tall, has a wingspan of 5'7". He was always one of the first guys there. He was always one of the last to leave. He was a very reliable player on both ends of the floor. And he was someone that we knew we could always count on. And he always made the guys on the court with him better. So for our Coach's Award, Mike Wong. Next, our most improved player. Standing 5'11" with a 6'1" wingspan. This player was a great listener and always improved. He was one of those guys where I noticed it very early in the season. He'd mess up a drill and I'd say, all right, do it this way. And he'd say, oh, yes, sir. And then the next drill, he'd get it right. Had a little trouble with pick and rolls at times, but generally everything else, I would tell him, do it this way, and he would do it immediately. For our most improved player, Selim. For our most improved player, this player stands 6'4" with a 6'3" wingspan, and I am on good authority that he is the tallest Squires player ever. He was a great rebounder, a great scorer, a very calm presence, starter the entire year, and he was someone that we could always rely on when it came to game time. Our MVP of the year is Ryan Lockert. Well, those are all the awards for our first season, but in the spirit of March Madness moving on right now, Squires had a second season. Although all of our games ended with 2 weeks left, we then moved on to what really counts, the Squires 3-on-3 Slam Fest. We had 5 teams, the Brick City Bulldogs, who were Jerry, Will, and Matt Colby. Some of these names aren't super creative. Team Ryan had Ryan, John and Matt Coleman. The Dominators had Joaquin, Tony, and Ramses. And then the 2 teams that kind of separated themselves from the pack the Shanghai Bears with Mike Sellum and Riley Beecraft. And then Team Squires, who was the only four-man team. So they had a little extra depth, a little extra athleticism, very reminiscent of Florida State's current squad. Tierney, William, Kai, and Tommy Cocktail Collins. Oh yeah! It all came down to the absolute last game of the Slam Fest between Shanghai Bears and Team Squires, and this was going to determine the champion. With the first possession of the game, new recruit, Tommy Collins, steps up to the line, shoots the three right in someone's face, drills it. They're up. They checks the ball up again. The defender goes, okay, I'm going to go out and guard him a little more intensely. And he just stepped back a few more feet, shot another one, switched right in. At this point, Sellum said, no, that's it. We've got to switch. I'm going to go guard him now. He backed all the way up to half court, shot it, and he finally missed one. Fortunately, that was too little too late. Team Squires went on to win the first 3-on-3 Slam Fest tournament. So would Tierney, William, Kai, and Tommy please come forward to accept your trophy? There is already space in the trophy case reserved for this, and this will be a regular thing from here on out. So your 2019 Slam Fest champions.
Next up, we have outdoor program with Coach Macaronis and Coach Haynes.
Good job.
Alrighty. Hey, a quick thank you to a few people before we get into this. Mr. Brown, Mr. Woods, Mr. Dean, for helping us organize the winter outdoor season. Mr. Dean in particular with helping coordinate skiing trips to Wintergreen. And also Ms. Agan and Mr. McMurtry for helping accept money and organize that as well. So thank you guys. Also a big thank you to Coach Haynes for helping this season. His help and support was really crucial. I want to thank all the guys that participated. We had a really fun season. We did a lot of climbing, a lot of hiking, a lot of mountain biking, and once it got cold, we skied and snowboarded every Tuesday. Coach Haynes and I were really proud of the effort and the enthusiasm that all the guys gave, especially all the guys that were learning how to ski or snowboard for the first time. You guys really dove in, and it was really cool to see your perseverance, and especially for guys that had never skied or snowboarded before. There's a lot of falling, and you guys stuck with it, which was really cool. We have 2 awards. The first one is the Broken Back Award. It's named after the mountain to the west of campus. And this award goes to a student that worked the hardest, gave the most effort, and really challenged themselves. This year's winner is from Vietnam, and until this winter, I believe he had never seen snow before. And he picked up skiing in less than 3 days, and was actually turning successfully down a hill in 3 days. So that was pretty awesome. He was constantly pushing himself on the trails and on the climbing walls, and we're really proud to present the Broken Back Award to Hui Bui. Alrighty, and the second award is the Hawksbill Award, and it's named after the tallest mountain in Shenandoah. This award goes to the student that excelled throughout the whole season, showed the most skill in a variety of activities, and displayed great leadership. This year's winner was one of our strongest mountain bikers and most enthusiastic climbers, along with we. And he was also really supportive of his teammates, and that was really obvious throughout the whole season, and both Coach and I really appreciated that. He was always enthusiastic and up for an adventure no matter what we had decided or picked out to do that day. And we're really proud to present this year's Hawksbill Award to Juno Park. And that's it. Thank you.
Next up, we have JV basketball with Coach Puckett and Coach Atkinson. We're going to start off by giving you guys a recap, but Coach Lumpke's talking at the end of this, and I'm just going to skip that. I think you guys know very well how good we are. We were the best team in school history, winningest team in school history, so, I mean, we're pretty awesome. If I could actually have the guys on the JV basketball team just stand up real quick for a round of applause. Don't be shy, go ahead and stand up. I thought it was a great year. I personally really enjoyed, I like Coach Douglas, have coached a lot of years, and this was a really enjoyable team to work with. We sat down at the beginning of the season and came up with some goals, which we accomplished all of them. To win every game, which I thought was going to be challenging. You can ask Isis. Isis also is a little skeptical of that, but that was one of our goals, and we definitely accomplished that. We wanted to win a VIC championship, which we certainly did. And then probably most importantly, in my opinion, we wanted to be good teammates for each other, which I think day in and day out, obviously a daily commitment to that. I thought we did a pretty good job, definitely accomplished that goal as well. I guess we'll move on to the awards without further ado. We decided about 3 awards, which is really tough when you have a team. I think we had anywhere from 16 to 17 guys on any given day, and it's really hard to pick out individuals when the team had so much success. But we still were able to do that because we're awesome coaches. So first, we'll start with the Coaches Award. Coaches Award goes to one of our captains who was voted as a captain early on in the season, who did a great job as a captain. Was a really steadying force, I thought, a very consistent force for us. On and off the court, he was really easy to gauge how things were going, or even have conversations with to kind of get a feel for how things were going on the team any given day. Again, just a consistent presence for us that came to practice every day, worked hard. Every game, he was really reliable. I know we knew what we were going to get out of him, and just did a great job, again, on and off the floor. So our Coaches Award goes to Andrew Lynn. Next, we had our Most Improved Award, which is actually a really challenging award for us to give. A lot of our guys improved a ton from day one, practice, tryouts, all the way through the end of the season. There was guys at the beginning of the season who, we weren't able to rely on too much, that towards the end of the season we were. There was tons of guys that just got better in practice every day. Even guys that didn't play much in games that just came to practice every day and worked hard, which is a tough thing to do and is a big part of being a team player and being on the team. You know, even if you don't play on game days, practicing and making guys better and making yourself better is an important part of being an athlete, student athlete. So, you know, we had so many guys like that that it was really challenging. But when we thought about it, I think we decided that this guy in particular came in as a freshman who really kind of surprised us early on. I thought he did a great job early, but towards the end of the season was really a reliable piece for us. Played a lot of meaningful minutes down the stretch. Was pretty much our first guard off the bench towards the end of the season, and just did a great job overall. So our most improved goes to Robert Boyd. And then finally, our MVP, again, another one that was challenging for us, but I think we decided that, you know, what was important was not just being valuable on game day, but also just being valuable for us every day, being there for practice, working hard and giving us everything he could. Towards the end of the season, maybe not being able to practice as much, but still being around to help out, and then giving everything he had on game days, playing hurt, whatever it took to get things done. So our 2019 MVP goes to Isis Lewis. Next we have outdoorsman program, Coach Hermanson, Coach Graver.
Okay, gentlemen, real quick. These are the folks that participated in the Winter Outdoorsman with me: Sanjar, Trevor, Ben Alejandro, Shunsuke, Alex Dillard, Tristan Emanuel, Paul Gao, Zach Newman, Y. Kwan, Edwin Robinson, Alec Williams, Derek Godwin, and Nova Arsenault. Hey, thanks guys for suffering outside with me. In the winter, it's outdoorsman, so we are outside a lot during the winter. And there are days when we would really rather not be. So I just appreciate your willingness to show up every day and enjoy time with me. That's a lot of fun. And this year, for me, was a lot of fun, because I had a lot of seniors, and I had a lot of guys that came out for the first time. So hopefully there's a lot of future possibilities, especially now. I don't know if you guys have seen our new 5-stand. It's a sporting clays right next to the baseball field. We used that for the last time shooting on campus, which I think we had a fun time doing. So, to the awards. The first one is for a guy that I'm going to miss, believe it or not. He might not think I am, but I've had the opportunity to spend 4 winters consecutively with this guy, and seen him grow in a lot of different ways, and he has hopefully not picked up too much of my sense of humor over the years, but I just appreciate sharing time with him. So this is my lifetime award, Zach Newman. This next one, we don't have an MVP, but I'll call it Coach's Award. This is for a guy that just comes every day like, hey, what are we doing? Because whatever it is, I'm 100% in. And he's the only one so far in 6 years of doing this that has come to me at the end of the season and said, Mr. Hermanson, I think next year you should really consider working out harder with these guys because your workouts aren't enough. I said, okay. So I'm going to miss this guy as well. It's another senior. He and I have had the opportunity to get to know each other in a number of ways, but especially during Winter Outdoorsman. Waikwan. All right, and lastly, for me, gentlemen, it's not where you are, but where you're going. So the most improved is probably, to me, one of the most important awards out there, because there's dedication, there's willingness to grow, to see, hey, this is where I am, and I need to be better than I am currently. And this kid, I was really curious about where this was going to go. But he ended up really surprising me in everything that we did, and just poured his heart out into it, bought into it, and made the days fun for me. My most improved goes to Derek Godwin.
First of all, I'd just like to thank Coach Warren and Coach Khaled for all your help this year. Mr. Hermanson just mentioned fun, and that's really the only thing that makes this job worth it sometimes is this fact that you go to work and you enjoy it every day, especially if you're not winning a lot of games, which this year, fortunately, we did. But we had a lot of fun this year, and it's important to note that because you know, it's not always that way. So this group really kind of brought a lot of joy back to this job for me, and I really appreciate that. Can the guys who played indoor soccer stand up just to give them a big round of applause? Definitely stand up. They just would show up and play. I'm going to give, I also heard lifetime achievement. I'm going to give 3 of those today. There's 3 guys that played their last soccer games, official soccer games at Blue Ridge this spring, and they've just been a lot of fun and have been great for the program. The program will miss them next year, but Blue Ridge School will also miss them. And I'm going to give, 2 of them are going to be MVP awards, one of them's going to be a coach's award. But if I could get Don, if I could get Pablo, and I could get Colette to come up here, please. Guys are great, a lot of fun, especially when they pick on Pablo, and I love them to death, and I'm going to miss it. The whole program's going to miss him next year. The other most valuable award is going to go to the best player on the team, I believe. He's sort of a guy that is really dedicated to the sport. He's one of the most dedicated players, along with Levi and Dylan. And he's making the program a better program as those guys are. Levi would have been right up here with them, and he had not hurt himself lifting weights he had no business lifting. Anyway, Juan, come on down. I think most sports that have goalkeepers, I think lacrosse is the same, hockey's definitely the same, soccer's the same. Most goalkeepers have a certain kind of mental illness that makes them want to be goalkeepers. And this guy is that. He's mentally ill, but he's also somebody who does not always love playing goalie. He's also a pretty good field player, but never once complained about it. Sometimes when you don't want to be a goalie, but you're good at it, and you have to do it, and you get to watch everybody else run around. I think that takes a lot of sportsmanship, and it's basically putting your team before yourself. And so a very earned Most Improved Award will go to Alan Lee. Coaches Award. This is his Indoor Soccer Spear Award. There's really no one more dedicated at this school in soccer that's been with the program in the last 10 years since I've been here. I can always, if I'm running off to class, I can always say, hey, I need the whole team to know this by 3 o'clock, and they will, because he'll make sure of it. And so he's going to be a captain next year. He's a great guy. He's got beautiful hair. You know him as Dylan. Come on down.
Thank you.
All right, next up we got wrestling with Coach Cable, Coach Mel, and Coach Fan.
All right. Hey, good afternoon. As Mr. Puckett said, my name is Mark Cable. I just took over as the head coach this year, and it was quite an experience. I'm honored to have the opportunity to address the school to give some recognition to the achievements of our wrestling team. First, I'd like to thank the school administration, though, particularly Mr. Brian Puckett, Mr. Bruton, sorry, Ms. Benshoff, and Ms. Agan. Without them, we wouldn't have these kind of programs, so very, very much appreciated. I'd also like to thank Coach Mel, the assistant. Without him, we would have really been in trouble logistically. He helped with all of that and took care of us, so thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Mr. Morris and Mr. Farrar for keeping us in good equipment and good health. Thank you for that. I'd like to thank the rest of the staff as well. All right, so it's no secret that Blue Ridge is rebuilding its wrestling program. Back in the 70s, they had some really amazing teams. I don't know if you know this, but in 1975, Blue Ridge won the national championship. Is the only Virginia prep school to win a national championship, and that's really impressive. So I'd love to bring this program back to that kind of quality. It's going to take a lot of work and effort, but I think we can get there. Wrestling is an incredibly challenging sport that requires tremendous discipline, hard work, determination, dedication, and willpower. These young men not only have to get stronger, faster, learn wrestling moves, counter moves, techniques, and build endurance, most of them have to watch their diet for 4 months. So they give up eating snacks and junk food and all those other things you guys take for granted. It takes a lot of willpower to put that extra slice of pizza down, doesn't it, Nick? Yeah. I don't believe any other sport requires so much personal sacrifice. Again, it's a tough sport, and these guys did a great job. One of the impressive things that stood out from the season is, we had a very small team, and in most of our matches, we forfeited more matches than we had wrestlers, as far as it went. So we didn't win very many matches, but we did win one. And the reason we won that match was because every match we wrestled, we pinned the opponent. So it's very impressive. We started the season with 11 wrestlers. There's 13 weight classes. And we ended the season with just 4. So I'd like to go ahead and present some awards for our wrestlers. They did a great job, and all of them are worthy. So first, I'd like to present the Most Valuable Wrestler Award. That's Amon Johnson. Oh, yeah! Just so you know, Amon is the 220-pound state champion for 2019. He's a second-year wrestler, and he's a junior, and he's going to be back next year. Amon qualified for nationals, is a whole new level there. He showed a lot of heart, and he wrestled tough. And next year, we're going to make another push. All right? Coach's Award. So I'd like to award this to Nathan Santos. Nathan displayed a lot of effort, dedication, work ethic. Nathan loves this sport. He was always there, always trying to learn more, work harder, get better. At the end of the season, he really came on strong, and I expect big things from him next year. Nathan's our captain because of his leadership. He was always there, always could count on Nathan, and he's got a great future. So, congratulations, Nathan. The most improved. This was the hardest to decide. I had 2 freshmen this year, and they both developed and grew as wrestlers, as young men, and I'm extremely proud of both of them. From starting to an end point, though, who improved the most? We have to say that was Nick Barrientos. Congratulations, Nick. You worked really hard, improved your wrestling skills, your maturity, and your all-around toughness. It's come a long way. We're very proud of it. As I said, we are rebuilding our program. We need more participation. So I'm inviting anyone that wants to give it a try to come out next year. If you don't know how to wrestle, that's okay. I'll teach you. Just bring some heart, some guts, some discipline, some work ethic, and I will make you into a good wrestler, okay? Now, in the meantime, Coach Puckett has given me the authorization to create a club wrestling program. So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to get that started. It'll be on weekends. It's an informal club, so you can come out whenever you want, try it out, and see if you like it. But it'll be a good chance to get exposure to it and see if you want to do it next year. All right? Again, thank you very much. I apologize. One other thing. I do want to cover the folks that lettered. So, Ahmad Johnson, I'll get your certificates later. Nick Barrientos, Nathan Santos, Blake Koenig, Miguel Serrano, and Adam Rudolph. Thank you.
Next up, we have varsity basketball with Coach Lemke, Coach Kerwin, Coach Coe, and Coach Conway.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It's 2:20 right now. And I know lacrosse has to leave in a few minutes, and I know others have to leave a few minutes after that. So I'll be as brief as possible, whatever that means. No, it's a great day. Obviously, to be able to celebrate all of our winter sports. I think it was fitting that so many coaches stood up here and talked about, you know, the joy of the different teams and programs that they had this year. I thought that was a great, you know, testament to the type of students that we have this year, the type of senior leaders that we have this year, and obviously our faculty and staff for embodying that as, you know, as coaches and as activity leaders in the winter and other seasons. But that was great to hear everybody make those comments. And similarly, we had a very joyous season as well with guys that wanted to compete, but also wanted to be there with each other and wanted to enjoy that time, whether it was good moments or bad moments, but to enjoy those times together. So that speaks volumes to our school and what we have to offer. Our team this year, you know, had a great group of guys. I'll read them off right now. You don't need to stand or anything, but God bless you, so people know. Chris Rogers, William Lee, Drew Marocha, Jackson Culhane, Savion Helm, Malik Brown, Ernesto Torres, Michael Gray, Omar Jassim, Houston Emery, Kane Henderson, Sasha Glushkov, Andrew Nwako, Jaden Frazier, Keen Emmons McGill, Michael Asher, and Zach Wood. We had a great group, 7 seniors this year, which fellow coaches, you know, when you have a team that has a handful of upperclassmen on it that have been through the ups and downs, have gained experience on the court and off the court, that usually bodes well for you to have a successful season. And this year was exactly that. You know, we had 6 of our 7 were returning players or members of our program. They had all been on the good side of games, the bad side of games. They've been in great locker rooms and mediocre locker rooms. And so I think they all were able to, you know, really impart that wisdom and experience on their teammates. And I'm so thankful for those, you know, for those seniors and what they meant to us throughout the year. We ended up 28-6. We were VIC regular season and tournament champions. And then, obviously, right as spring break started, we won the VISAA state championship. And so that was a great way to end the season. second place in the Parkersburg South Holiday Classic, finished third place in the Harris Chalambres Invitational in Manchester, England. At that event, Mike Gray was named to the all-tournament team, and Keen Evans McGill was given a Distinguished Service Award for his role as head manager for the team. So that was a great experience. I want to just bring up some guys to let them get some recognition and get a photo op real quick. First, Chris Rogers, if you come up here. Chris scored for his career this year 1,402 career points. He had 586 with us at Blue Ridge and 816 at East Rock before he got here. So we wanted to give him a ball to commemorate that and congratulate him accordingly. Jaden Frazier and Keen Evans McGill, if you guys can come up here. Both Jaden and Keen are four-year boys. They've been with the varsity program for 4 years and have won a lot of games, been in a lot of practices, but they both have a school record for career wins in their career. They both had 103 wins in their time here at Blue Ridge. So we wanted to give them a ball to commemorate them and congratulate them as well. The last month they announced the VIC Conference Awards for performance over the course of the conference season. These guys have just come up for a quick picture. William Lee and Jaden Frazier both made second team All VIC. Mike Gray made first team All VIC, and Chris Rogers was the VIC Player of the Year. And then just last week, the VISAA announced their honors for the state teams, and Jaden Frazier made second team All-State, Mike Gray made first team All-State, and Chris Rogers was the Virginia State Player of the Year. The team had a great experience in Manchester and London, England over winter break. Got to see a bunch of sights and make memories that will last a lifetime, including eating fish and chips, attending a Manchester United Premier League game, and visiting Big Ben, and then spending countless hours in the airports waiting for flights and going through customs and whatnot. Great experience for the guys. The team volunteered for the 5th straight year at the Charlottesville Toy Lift back in December, and were recognized by that charity back then as well. They conducted their 4th year of Biddy basketball, where they spend a couple hours each week teaching campus kids and other children in the community the game in a fun-loving environment. Seniors had a great experience participating in the musical Romeo and Juliet. Enjoyed that, and it was just overall a great time for the team. I want to make sure we thank certain people, and I think specifically some people, none of this happens without a lot. A lot of people all playing roles that are asked of them, or roles that aren't even asked of them. They just step up and do things. First, my assistant coaching staff, Coach Conway and Coach Kerwin, who are here right now. Coach Toe couldn't be here, but those three coaches, I say it every year, that we wouldn't be where we are without having selfless, committed coaches willing to sacrifice their time and just pour out their experiences as players, as coaches, and just be mentors to all the boys. So I want to make sure we thank them for all that they continue to do each and every year. Our student managers, who are near and dear to my heart, and all that they do, and sometimes they do not get that acclaim and that recognition that they deserve. But we had two managers to start out the year, Keen Emmons McGill and Michael Asher, and then about halfway through the year or so, we're able to add Zach Wood, who did a great job as well. So I want to make sure we recognize them for their time. Our athletic trainer, Nick Farah, who had to deal with a bunch of injuries and rehabs and just trips to the ER, dealing with guys and parents as they were going through tough times. So I want to thank you, Nick. I don't know if you're here, but thank you for that. And then just a list of other people, and you guys all know the different things that you did to make this year and this season possible. Mr. Darren, Mr. Bruton, Dr. Miller, Coach Puckett, Coach Herring, David Heifetz, Ricky Woods, Mrs. Woods, Ms. Benshoff, Mr. Dudley, Jonathan Alex, and the entire SAGE staff, Chaplain West, Ms. Ayler, Ms. Flint, Ms. Dickerson, Ms. Agan, Mr. McMurtry, all those in the business office that handled money, not only meal money and stuff, but also taking and selling tickets at games and regulating all that. Mr. Burris, Mr. Peterson, the BSN commentating crew, Jack, Moses, Charlie, Prophecy, thank you for that. We continue to get comments from alumni and parents and fans of our team and other teams about the quality that you guys do behind the mic. Appreciate that. Davey Forsman, Alex Dillard, Mrs. Wilkins, Mr. McGreal, and Mrs. Puckett, who I know isn't here, but she also did several things this year that helped us. So thank you everybody for that, and we appreciate it. We're only as good as the people that help us get to where we are, so thank you. So we have three awards that we wanted to give out this year. Every year we have kind of a mantra that we do as a team. This year we went through a book titled "Own the Moment." It's written by a pastor up in New York City. Also is a former teammate of mine and a good friend of mine. And so we went into that book this year, where we learned just how important all of these moments are in our lives, right? And it's easy when people think about, when I graduated from high school, or when I got married, or when I had my first child, or right, you think about these things as like big moments, right? But our lives are full of countless moments that we need to own those opportunities. We need to own those moments and not let them slip by, but to live them with a passion, with focus, because you don't know. And if you go through those moments, good or bad, and you are really present and you make the most of them, that's going to not only give you memories, right, as a student, as a parent, as a husband or wife, but the impact that you can have on those other people that you're with, you don't even know what that could mean, and you don't know, and they don't even know what that could mean, for days or years or tens of years before they realize the impact of those moments. And so we just we went through chapter by chapter through this book, and it was fun. It was difficult at times. It was personal at times, but I think it really grounded our boys and put them in situations that, regardless of if we were winning a game, or if we were losing a game in the second quarter or third quarter or fourth quarter, that we were owning all those moments that we were in, and I think that allowed us to grow as a team, to win some games, but more importantly to prepare us for the next chapter of our lives. And so our three awards that we selected this year have to do with different chapters of that book. The first award was titled "When the Lights Are On" award. We learned in the book how we need to own all the moments, right, in our lives: big moments, small moments, boring moments, exciting moments. We don't want to look back on moments in our lives and regret that we didn't live them with passion, focus, and energy. It's easy to think that when you're on a big stage and the lights are on, that you will own the moment. But as we all know, that's easier said than done. When the lights are on, there are many eyes watching. There's pressure. There's the opportunity to succeed, but also the chance that you're going to fail. This young man played his best games in the most competitive situations. He scored 29 points in the semifinals of the Harris Chalambers tournament in a back-and-forth game versus Club Charnwood in front of close to 1,000 spectators watching the game. He scored 19 points, had 4 rebounds versus National Power Huntington Prep, a game that we played in early January. For those of you who were there, you know that he sparked our semifinal victory against Middleburg in the state semis. He scored 11 straight points in the second quarter when we were down, I think, 11 in that second quarter, and then put us in a position to continue and to win that game in the second half. And he had another big game in the championship game as well. The great thing for us is that he's only a sophomore, and we hope that as the seasons go, he'll continue to do even more for us and for our community. But the When the Lights Are On award goes to Michael Gray. The next award we're gonna give a couple minutes. Maybe he would be here to receive it. He's not here right now, so we're gonna go to the third award. Okay, this is the People Business Award. Okay, there was a whole chapter in the book about people and about what we go through in life and the people that we come into contact with. We learned in the book how we are all in the people business, whether we like it or not. Right? The question that was asked of us is, in our lives, how often do we feel valued? Do we feel loved and appreciated by others? And that was a question that we asked, and then the follow-up was the obvious comment that when we feel valued and we feel appreciated, our effort and our passion increases drastically in whatever it is that we're doing, right? In the classroom, on the court, in our families, in the dorms, right? When you feel appreciated and valued. Conversely, right? If we feel that somebody is simply tolerating us, right? They're in the space with us, but they don't really care. They don't really have any reason to want to talk to us genuinely or want to get to know us. Right, we find it hard in those situations just to do the minimum amount that's required. right? And definitely not with any real passion or focus. You know, in a world where people are always trying to kind of get ahead, and they know they don't have a lot of time, you know, for others, it's easy to not treat other people, right, the right way, and to really, right, be genuine with them and give them the attention of yours that they deserve. You know, as we look in our locker room and on the court throughout, you know, this season and last season, there was one player who always had time for others, right? Always took, you know, genuine interest in others' lives, what they're doing, how they're feeling, and you always, you know, made sure that they felt appreciated. It doesn't matter how big or small the world would say that somebody is, he always treated people with respect and with love. I was given compliments by other coaches, you know, fans, parents, and many members of the BRS community as to this young man, how he's always giving of himself to others by the way he treats and respects them. He's been a great inspiration to our program and to the school as a whole. A great leader, someone who we will miss dearly. But the People Business Award goes to Chris Rogers. Yeah. I was going to do this last, but I'll do this right now as I'm trying to buy a couple minutes here. I want to make sure we give special recognition to the Ridge Rowdies and the Ridge Foudies this year. Yes.
Foudies?
Both the students and faculty were instrumental in many of our wins, and we definitely felt it when we didn't have that support when we were on the road, you know, or in environments where we didn't have you guys. We had more come from behind victories this year than the last 4 years combined, and it was all because of that momentum that was created, you know, by the fans. It was amazing to see even some students and faculty at games, you know, road games or away games, right? That we had faculty at one of our games in Virginia Beach that was 3.5 hours away. We had plenty of students, faculty at our games in Roanoke in the VIC championship game, and then obviously even as spring break began, and guys and faculty were all, you know, headed home. We still had a good group at both our semifinal game and our finals, which both were come from behind victories, and it was so refreshing to see and to hear and to feel, you know, that support. You know, as you guys have heard, and some of you were there or you read about it, we were down 15 points in the third quarter of the state championship game to Miller School, and the ability for our guys to, you know, to stay in the moment and to just worry about the next couple of minutes and not be worried about, you know, we're going to win or lose, but let's just deal with the next, you know, minute, the next 2 minutes. Let's deal with before the next timeout. It was great to see the guys own those moments, but that was only possible, you know, with the support, you know, that we had. I didn't hear things as well in other games as I heard in the state championship game, because the position where people were standing where they were right behind our bench. So all of you guys that had comments to make to the other team or had encouraging words to say to our guys as the comeback was happening, we could hear that loud and clear because you were standing right behind us, and it was inspiring, and it was really neat to just hear that, you know, and to be a part of something like that. our goal, and we hope to do something special for all of you guys, in the coming weeks. But at least for right now, I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledge you, and on behalf of the team and the program, just to thank you for all that support on and off the court, because this was by far the best Ridge Rowdies and Ridge Foudies sections that we've had in my time here, and it was a big reason why we were successful in the end, so thank you very much for that. And then the last award, I'll ask Coach Puckett maybe in the coming weeks we'll give that out during assembly one morning, because the recipient's not here to receive it, so I don't want to even talk about it without him being here. But all that said, thank you, right, for a great season. Thank you to our players and our managers and coaches and all of our supporters for everything that you guys allowed us to do. That's wearing the Blue Ridge uniform and traveling around literally around the world this year to bring you guys and bring this name to other cities and other countries. It's not something that we take lightly, and we're proud to represent you guys, and we're excited for the years to come, and excited to continue to celebrate with our guys this season that they had. So thank you very much.
All right, and one last thing before we conclude, I promise we'll be quick. This morning we got 2 Spear Awards. We're going to give out a third now. Again, when we think about Spear, we sat down and talked about this winter and guys that deserve to get the Spear Award. And one person maybe you don't think about, but definitely checks off all the boxes of service, perseverance, excellence, academics, and respect. Just selfless giving, just an unbelievable respect that he has for other people, but people have for him. We thought it was very appropriate, and I'm honored to give a Spear Award to Keen Edmonds McGill.
You need to be out at the bus at 5 till, please.
Continue the bus at the track and seniors at 3 o'clock.
Anybody else?
Golf team in Mr. Dare's office at 3:30.
Baseball field house, 3 o'clock.
All right, students are dismissed.